Hi everyone. Welcome to Movie Time. Today we will look at a 2009 American romantic drama film, 500 Days of Summer. Spoilers ahead. Tom Hansen of Margate, New Jersey, grew up believing that he'd never truly be happy until he met the one. Tom Hansen is an architect working as a writer at a greeting card company in LA. On January 8, Tom meets Summer Finn, his boss's new assistant, and immediately falls in love with her. One evening, both Tom and Summer end up on the lift together. She hears Tom listening to the Smiths through his headphones. She tells Tom that she loves the Smiths. Tom gets excited discovering that they both share the same taste in music. He later decides to profess his love for Summer with his friends, who tells him to ask her out, but Tom waves them away saying she isn't interested in him. One day, Tom's friend and coworker Mackenzie invites him to a karaoke night at the club. Although Tom isn't interested in going at first, he later decides to go when Mackenzie tells him that the whole office is going, including Summer. At the club, both Tom and Summer end up talking about love, where Summer tells him that she doesn't believe in love and there is no such thing as love, while Tom disagrees. Later in the night, Mackenzie gets drunk, and both Tom and Summer help him to a taxi. Before entering the taxi, Mackenzie reveals that Tom likes Summer. After the taxi leaves, Summer asks Tom whether he likes her, as friends or something more. Tom replies he hasn't really thought about it much and asserts that he likes her as friends, to which Summer replies that she would like for them to be friends. A few days later, Summer spontaneously kisses Tom in the office. They make out in the printer room for the next few seconds and then Summer leaves. During the next few months, they spend a lot of time together. They grow closer, but Summer tells him that though they are enjoying each other's company, she isn't looking for anything serious. Tom agrees to it, even though he doesn't like the idea. One day, Tom shows Summer his favorite spot in the city, a park bench overlooking a number of buildings he admires. He describes the different buildings to her. He goes on, telling her that there are a lot of beautiful things which people don't notice, and if he had the chance, he would make them notice. She asks him how he would make them notice. She takes out a pen from her bag and gives it to him. She asks him to show her how by drawing on her arm. He draws on her arm, sharing a beautiful moment together. After several months of dating, both Tom's friends and his preteen half-sister Rachel pushes Tom to ask Summer where they are in their relationship. On the way to the movies one day, Tom brings up the topic of their relationship and what's going on between them. Summer tells him that she doesn't know, and brushes this off, saying that it should not matter as long as they are both happy. One night, Tom and Summer are at a bar. A man comes and sits next to Summer. He offers to buy her a drink, to which she politely declines, and asks him to leave them alone. The man then continues to taunt Summer for having Tom as her boyfriend. Tom punches the man and gets into a fight with him. After getting back home, Summer tells Tom that he was completely uncool back at the bar, to which Tom replies that he got his ass kicked for her. This causes them to have their first argument, and eventually Tom leaves. Later, they make up, and Summer concedes that Tom deserves some certainty, but demanding that she promise to always feel the same way about him would be impossible for anyone to make. On one of the days, they are hanging out in a cafe. Tom tells Summer that The Graduate is playing at 5. Summer asks Tom whether he wants to see it. Tom tells her he'd rather go back to her place, but she insists on seeing it. They watch the movie together and she weeps at the ending. This surprises Tom, as he'd always thought it was a romantic fairy tale that a person like Summer wouldn't like. Later, at the record store, Summer is distracted. Tom asks her what she wants to do. She replies that she is going to call it a day and kisses him goodnight on the cheek. Tom tempts her with an offer of pancakes at a diner. At the diner, she lightly announces that the relationship isn't working and breaks up with him while waiting for the food. Tom is horrified and becomes deeply depressed. Since they both broke up, Summer quits her job at the greeting card company. One day, Tom's boss calls him to his office. He tells Tom that his work performance has been a little off, and that he knows about him and Summer. He tells Tom a change in department would be best for him, as his depression is making him unsuitable for happier events, and moves him to the consolations department, where he could channel his energies into something better. Tom goes on a blind date with a woman named Allison. The date does not go well as he spends it talking about Summer. He ends up getting drunk and sings sad karaoke songs until, exasperated, Allison leaves. Months later, Tom is at the train station. He is on his way to attend his coworker Millie's wedding. He sees Summer inside the train and tries to avoid her. but she spots him and invites him for coffee. They have coffee together in the train, and end up going to the wedding together. They have a good time at the wedding, dances together, and Summer catches the bouquet. She then invites Tom to a party at her apartment, falling asleep on his shoulder on the train ride back. With the promise of the evening they shared at the wedding, Tom attends the party, with the belief that his expectation of rekindling their relationship will become a reality. However, he barely gets to talk to Summer. He spends most of the night drinking alone, until finally he spots Summer showing her engagement ring to a friend. Feeling depressed again, Tom leaves, close to tears. Entering a deep depression, he only leaves his apartment for alcohol and junk food. After a few days, he returns to work with a hangover. During a meeting, he has an emotional outburst. He tells everyone that people should express how they feel themselves, and not some people putting words on cards. He finally leaves saying that he quit. Rachel tells Tom that she does not believe Summer was the one, and his depression is only being worsened as he's only projecting his happy memories. He makes an effort to go deep in thought, and is finally able to see moments of incompatibilities and signs of their differences he overlooked. One day, he suddenly finds the energy to get out of bed, and rededicates himself to architecture, as Summer had encouraged him to do. He makes a list of firms he wants to work for, reads books on architecture, and goes to job interviews. One day, after a job interview, Tom is at his favorite spot in the city. He sees Summer there and they talk. She asks him whether he is okay, to which he replies that he eventually will be. He tells her that he left the office, and notes that she got married. He congratulates her, and tells her that he doesn't understand as she never even wanted to be someone's girlfriend. Summer says she got married because she felt sure, which she wasn't with Tom. When he says he was wrong about true love existing, she counters, telling him that he was actually right about it, just wrong about it being with her. She puts her hand on his and says she is glad to see he is doing well. As she leaves, Tom tells her he really hopes she is happy. 12 days later, on Wednesday, May 23, Tom is at a job interview. He meets a woman who is also applying for the same post. She tells him that he looks familiar, and asks him whether he has been to Angela Plaza, to which he replies that it is his favorite spot in the city. She tells him that she has seen him around there. As he is entering the interview, he invites her for coffee afterwards. She politely declines, but then changes her mind. He tells her that his name is Tom and asks for hers. She replies that her name is Autumn. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more such content.